wait a minute. Why isn't that working? Oh, I know why. Hold on. Well, you know, my thing went dead right before. So I don't know how to take that off. Hold on a sec. So welcome everyone. This is Inside Leaders Heads. And we have Jason Lebowitz from XXO Connections on, and I'm really looking forward to speaking with him if I can learn how to speak today. So I just wanted, let me take that off. Just wanted to welcome you. Thanks for coming on the show. It's really awesome. I'm gonna try one thing here. I want to see if this covers up our names. Oh no, that works. Yes, I did something right. Okay, I'm gonna leave that on. So this show has been evolving, just so you know. So I sent you the agenda, but I'll kind of go through that and everything. But the first thing I like to do is offer the guests. I don't know if you want to have a moment of silence or you want to just like do a prayer or a shout out to your higher power or just anything kind of like to bring us all together. And if not, we'll just get right into the show.
Yeah, I would say that what I call an energetic tidal wave is just connecting all of us together is the higher power of all of us together. So I'm looking forward to having this conversation with you, Mark.
Good. Yeah. So we always start off. I get to be a little bit selfish, so I get to tell people why I invited you in the first place. So I kind of put that up there. So why did I want to interview Jason Lebowitz? Well, you know what? I don't even remember the show that I saw you on, but I saw you on some show, and then I kind of checked out XXO Connection, your website, and I'm all about heart and people finding their passion and all that kind of stuff. And it seems you're about the same thing too. And you're one of the few people that after I connected, you actually sent me like a connection video, and it was just like, wow, that was awesome. And you're just like, I don't know, you're just a bundle of friendliness and heart and energy, and that's kind of people I want to hang out with. So that's why I wanted you on the show. So welcome.
I'm here. Let's do this. Yeah. I think I've sent out, I don't know, close to 1,000 of those videos now. But to me, it's not about connections. It's about connection and deep human connection. And so what better way than actually send a video, a personal video, and say hi to somebody?
Yeah. I want to start doing that, but for some reason, it seems like people that have iPhones have an advantage. So you can just hit video, you can hit sound. I don't know if you did it from whatever, but
I don't have an iPhone. So
okay. Well, then I'll have to after the show.
Yeah.
I will ask you how the heck you can do that, because it seems like
30,
I never.
It's less than 30 seconds to take the time.
Really?
When I pick my phone up to hit it, record it, and hit send, and it's in your hands in 30 seconds, or at least you're
Okay.
direct. Yeah.
All right. So all of my previous employers that were IT related are now going, he worked for us for years? What? Anyway. All right. So now we get to your who are you to you, and just introduce yourself. I tell people, you know what? If you can do it in 3 to 5 sentences, great. If you take longer, that's okay too. Because I used to say, in 3 to 5 sentences, introduce yourself, but take as long as you want. So who are you to you?
To me, I am Jason Lebowitz. I'm the founder of XXO and XXO Connect. We are here to transform 1 million lives by 2025, restore connection to humanity, and accelerate human connection.
And that's cool. Can you say about just say a little more about like, what is 1 million people? What does that look like? I mean, I know what 1 million is, but what is the connection? What is success in that?
Connection to self. That means 1 million people have found their purpose and are living their lives without worrying about, they're living their life. They're not living somebody else's life. They're not worried about what anybody else thinks or feels of what they're doing. They have that self-worth internally. They're not looking to fill it externally anymore. And once they have that deep connection to themselves, then they'll have it to others. They'll have that deep vulnerability, that deep intimacy, connection being the root of it all. They won't feel isolated. They won't feel lonely. They'll feel completely grounded, living their life.
Cool. I mean, I want to explore this a little more, because I know you're going to get to this on your purpose and passions, because this is your purpose and passion. But how, because everybody, well, I think LinkedIn is split into like 2 groups. So one group's like all about the numbers. I have this many connections and this many likes and this many comments, and monetized it this way and blah, blah, blah. So 1 million is a number, but I don't feel that same. I mean, it's okay that people are that way, but I don't feel that same energy from you. I feel it's like more like an improving the world kind of thing. Not that people that sell stuff don't improve things. I'm just talking the connection here. So how will you know you made that 1 million and that people did find their purpose?
We don't have metrics in terms of, so that's 1 million members inside our platform. There's no metrics. There is no posting. There's no trying to gain likes or followers. All of the metrics that everybody knows are gone. Things get really quiet, distraction free. It's a personal growth transformational platform, all about connection to self first and then others. So when you eliminate trying to gain followers and likes and all of those things that we compare ourselves to and trying to get externally, it changes the game.
Right. But when you have 1 million people subscribe to XXO Connection, and that's it, I get it. I'm one in the million.
I like that.
It's an awesome site, people. I mean, we'll get there. We'll talk about that. So, the whole, well, not purpose, but this just inside leaders' heads. What?
Yep. No, I'm okay. I'll let you carry with this. In 3 sentences, I'll give you 3 words instead of 3 sentences for this.
All right.
Connection.
So,
connection over convenience.
Connection what?
Over convenience.
Oh, wow. Cool. So I bet you're going to win. Not that you want it and not that anybody want it, but when I publish my book, you're the first person that'll get a free copy, because I'm guessing 3 words is the shortest any guest on the show will ever describe their passion. So yeah. So just that's what drives you. So that's your passion. That's great. Say it one more time, because it's beautiful. And you say it better than me.
Connection over convenience. And I would say purpose over even passion. It's definitely purpose. Connection over convenience.
Okay, because that's actually the next thing is describe your purpose.
It's like a.
So do you think those are combined for some people? They are combined. I mean, is that your passion and your purpose, or?
I'm passionate about it, but I think passion and purpose are very different. I'm led 100% by purpose. I think passion can be like a hobby or something, an interest of yours, but that's not what you're driven by in life as a purpose. And so I think they're very different.
Oh, I do too.
Yeah.
But
I would say I'm definitely passionate about my purpose. But much deeper level, it's definitely that's my purpose.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So okay. So connection over convenience is your purpose. Okay. Yeah, because
if you actually want
to go ahead.
If you wanted to take it to one word, I'll just say connection.
Right.
My purpose.
So connection. Yeah. I agree. Yeah. Because I mean, just for example, for our listeners, and some people are returning, some people are new, but like, for example, my passion statement, if you will, is music plus tech plus writing equals fun and passion. That's my passion. But my purpose is similar to yours, but it's focused on people's voice. So I think a lot of people know their passion, they just don't live it. So knowing their passion and knowing their purpose, and purpose to me is the legacy you want to leave in your world. So you is 1 million people connecting, and connection over convenience. That's the legacy you want to leave. So that's what purpose means to me. My purpose is helping people find their voice and then living it every day in every way. So yeah, cool.
Yeah, I think purpose comes from life experience, and so you can't just find purpose by going to a class and say, "What's my purpose?" It comes through all of what we go through, and it leads us to that purpose. And a lot of times we don't. I mean, some people find it very early in life. Some people find it later in life. Some people never find it. But no matter whenever time you find it, you're still early in the game.
Right.
And I want to say hi to Silver Fox.
Oh, where is she? I don't see the chat. Here, let me look. Hold on a sec. Oh, hey. She's not in a creepy way, but she's my #1 fan. She always shows up. She always supports me. So I'm going to say shout out to her.
We have a great story of how we actually met. We did a 24-hour LinkedIn Live about a month or two ago. And I think during the middle of the night, she came into the live, and I think the last hour she spent with us on the live. So it was a really great time to actually get to know her.
I saw part of that, but I couldn't handle the 24 hours.
I couldn't either.
That was pretty awesome. Cool. But hi, Silver Fox. Okay. So I think a lot of people, well, I'm interested, and hopefully people listening are as well. But I kind of like to feel the origin story. So you actually did a perfect lead in, even though, well, you did know my next question maybe because I sent it to you, but it's a perfect lead in. So you'd say some people never find their purpose. Some people find it late in life. Some people, you can find it anywhere in your life. And sometimes people don't find it. You obviously, I mean, to me, you exemplify, you demonstrate your purpose and passion, which is why I like you. I think you're a very cool guy. I like XXL Connection. But so you know it. So if you could talk about how you got there, how did you find your passion and your purpose, and just kind of the origin story, and it could be a whole bunch of stories that led to it. So
yeah, it was funny
what is
too.
the origin story?
Yeah, I'll back up. Is that I saw the ahead of time questions, and I actually didn't read it because I wanted to keep it as spontaneous with you as I could.
Oh,
So,
cool.
yeah, so I actually don't
Not
know.
everyone is like you, just so you know.
I like the actual in person as we are right now, and I would say it's obviously a lifetime in the making, and it's so many different things. But really, what started to lead me to where we are today is through my experience with the relationship with myself and with other people that I was in a relationship with. And I found myself in quite a few unhealthy relationships. And when the cycle repeats over and over, you have to take a look and figure out where's that coming from. And there has to be some kind of accountability for that, and really some awareness, and realizing that there's something within me is why I kept falling into those same types of relationships. And that's where the real transformation began. So I would say that's probably where it started, was through a series of those relationships.
So you know Jeff Clark's on, if you want to give him a shout. I don't know if you know him.
I don't, but what's going on, Jeff?
Yeah, he's actually, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go. So where Fox is listening, and Jeff Clark, happy Saturday, gents. Oh, wow, I'm a gent. We're gents. That's cool. Good. See, this is why I like you so much. So a lot of people, when they tell their origin story, it always sounds like I'm dissing other people. I'm not dissing, I'm explaining the difference. So some people that have come on the show, it was like an event, as in something that happened to them or somewhere they were, not necessarily the people connection. The way you described it, it was all learning through people. So that's kind of cool. I like that. And actually, I mean, that lines up right with XXO Connection. By the way, I'll drop that in like 100 times. How many times did Mark say XXO Connection? That's my metric for the show. Anyway. So then you kind of we'll delve a little more deeply, because you actually did talk about this a little, but just describe how your passions and purpose drive your thoughts and your actions just every day, because I think that's the difference. To me, that's in essence, and maybe I'm wrong, but that's success in life. Is you live your purpose, and so you leave a legacy, and then your passion drives that. And like you said, passion can be a lot of things, but I think when you combine them, your passion fuels the realization of your purpose.
I'm driven by how do we accelerate human connection, and it begins internally. Connection begins within and travels outward. So it's first finding that connection with yourself. And we're in a very time today where we're more connected than ever before. We have a million different ways to talk to people and watch people and everything else. And yet loneliness and isolation and cyberbullying and anxiety and depression, suicide are all on the rise, while self-worth and mental health are on the fall. And so I'm driven by how do we accelerate human connection to self first and then others. And so when you can eliminate trying to seek that external validation and attention to provide that temporary artificial happiness for the moment or the month or the year, and then it goes away. I'm driven every moment that I wake up till I go to sleep of how do we accelerate human connection to self first with other people. And when they can find that, that's when we can completely flip the equation. So I'm driven by that from the second I get up in the morning to the second I go to bed. That's what drives
great.
me. Yeah.
And so say a little more about, I mean, since we are on Facebook, YouTube, simulcasting on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn, which are social media technology stuff. And that's the technology aspect of the connection. But what do you think? Where do you think the disparity is? I mean, we have the ability, like I'm talking to you, even though we're not in person. I mean, we're live, but I'm not there. Like I can't go, hey, Jason, give me a hug. And then in, COVID times, we might not want to do that anyway. But what do you think that we have the ability to connect to all these other people, but why is it so divided? What's missing in the way we connect with technology, where it's kind of like we're divorced from our heart, where our self-esteem is going down, suicide's on the rise, all those things you mentioned. Where do you think the disparity comes?
These are great tools, just like you and I are now, but you and I right now, there's no distraction. And I mean, there's some because we're on a live interview, but if we took that away with people watching us and just you and I, there's no distraction. We've created a safe space, free of judgment conversation. And so when you're in that environment where you're not seeking all these metrics and you're not worried about somebody judging you, those other places come almost in an addiction or a distraction. Now they can become an amazing tool, as long as if you have that deep relationship with yourself. But a lot of people are seeking that deep connection, but they don't have it with themselves first. And so transformation is doing deep inner work. And it can be painful as hell at first, and it takes a long time. And so when we first start it, we make the decision to go in to actually start that and spend the time with ourselves.
Oh, crap. Jason, you got cut off. Oh, there you go.
Did I lose you?
Yeah, but you're back on. So sorry, the last sentence was your ability to connect with yourself.
Okay, I'm not sure I lost.
I don't know what happened, but you could start it over.
Yeah.
It was good stuff. Sorry about that.
No, it's okay.
Where did Jason go?
It's when you have that relationship with yourself first. And so to me, connection breaks down into three components. One is connection with community. That means being able to have in a group environment, have connection and have talking to other people. Connection one-on-one, like you and I are doing now, and then connection of self or with self, where you're spending the time by yourself also. And when you can combine those, you're definitely a healthy place in your life. When you're not seeking everything externally, and then those other platforms become great for you. But if you don't have that deep connection with yourself first, then that's when you go into that spiral of comparing and judgment and everything else.
So do you think in some ways, like technology and social media actually exacerbate that? Because we now have, like when I was growing up a long time ago, we didn't have 24/7 news stations. We didn't have, I was born before the internet. So if you wanted to go talk to someone, you had to get on the phone or go walk over to your friends and go play with them live. Do you think in some ways social media and technology exacerbate the problem so they won't connect with the self? They won't do the work? Not that they won't, but it's easy not to do any of that work because it's like at our fingertips.
You could use it as a distraction. So they're great tools, but we can also use them the wrong way as a distraction.
Yeah, it's kind of sad.
It's boundaries. But again, boundaries come from a deep connection with yourself first, how to set healthy boundaries.
So I'm not a parent, but how do parents, I think parents are some of the most important people in the kids' lives that teach them values and how to communicate and all that kind of stuff. People wouldn't believe it, but I'm an introvert. But the reason I am socially I'm able to talk to people and ask questions because of my mom. My mom was the most social butterfly I've ever seen in my life. I forgot where the question I was going with. Oh, so what can parents or friends or coaches teach people to move them in the directions of doing the work to find themselves? Seems like that's the biggest issue.
Well, that's the question. Are we talking kids? Or are we talking adults?
Everybody. actually.
Yeah, I mean, what we're doing is we're providing an environment free of all distraction, where it's a personal growth platform to do the inner work, but you're surrounded by community, like-minded people so you're not alone. And when you eliminate all those distractions and you can spend the time with yourself, but also with other people, where you eliminate what we know of is the social media metrics of today, it changes everything. It's a mindset. And it definitely shifts your energy as well. I think kids today, they value, they base their worth on how many likes and followers they have, and they compare themselves to other people. And by the way, it's xxoconnect.com, just for anyone listening.
Sorry.
That's
I was
okay.
going to ask you before I did that. I was
It's
also
okay.
going to tell you the reason I am paying attention, but I wanted to get. All right, let me hurry up and correct that before someone goes, "Hey, I went to that site and there was nothing there."
We're creating tools in real time
There you
where, thank you. What we're doing is we're providing a platform so we have live master classes every week. And actually, we're doing more than one. We're doing a couple a week now, different times. And it's not just somebody from outside watching in like a TV. It's actually people are in there with us, with the featured speaker, and they get to interact in a group environment with everybody else. And we're actually going to create 24/7 programming with subjects of self-love, self-worth, mindset, body image, forgiveness, shame. I mean, I could go on and on with the people that we're going to be bringing in on different subjects. Then we're creating our own XXO Connect video chat and app. And what that is all of our members, they're not that inside. If you're a member, so in life, we're all connected to each other. But in social media, we have to try to connect with others and make a friend or make a request to get a connection.
Yeah.
In our platform, we're all connected to each other. And so our messenger and video chat, you have access to everybody 24/7 with, whether you're on your computer or the phone, and I want to have a conversation with somebody, I can just see who's online through our chat and hit a button and have a one-on-one live conversation video chat with them. And so when you're able to do that and have those types of conversations, that is where deep transformation and connection starts. And we're going to build out a full kids network also, to in a different way of how kids consume these types of subjects and content, but in a way that eliminates what they're used to today, to move them out of where they live in all these other places and really value their own worth. So as they grow up, they know their worth today.
So here's me again, because I'm a past engineer and can't get over numbers. When do you have like a target date for that? That sounds like an awesome app.
For our kids,
24/7 and the connect by button.
It should be done by next week. We'll have we launched.
Oh, great.
We launched 2 weeks ago. We have 2 master classes coming up for this week, and by the end of this week, that should be desktop, laptop version will be out, and by the end of the week, the mobile version should be out. So we're right there.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
So is that 24/7 going to be live or?
Oh, are you talking the programming or the
Well, no, I kind of asked a broad question. I asked on all of them. So we answered the connect thing. I like that. But then you also mentioned 24/7.
The video chat will be done by the end of this week.
Okay.
So we're right there. So all of our members will have access to that. The 24/7 programming, that'll take a while. I mean, I don't know how long it's going to take to get there, but within a year, I'm sure we'll be 24/7 programming.
And we're talking live programming?
We're talking inside our network. We're creating a private network. So what that means is once you're a member and you have access, you can see our schedule. And some people will just have one and done master class with some featured experts. Others will have a weekly class, at a certain time every single week. Some might have a weekly, like Monday through Friday type of programming. So our members will have 24/7 programming of knowing what's coming on, that all are based around those types of subjects and really connection.
That's cool.
Yeah, I'm excited
for that. And that'll be XXO Connect cable channel, and then XXO Connect radio station, and then
We're creating a whole network, the XXO network. That's what we're doing.
yeah. And then you might have to reset your goal of 1 million to 10 million, and then 100 million, and a billion.
The million I only said by 2025. We're transferring 1 million lives by 2025.
Oh, okay. So we'll grow. Keep on growing.
Yes.
Awesome.
We're not stopping.
Sorry, I keep going back to numbers. It's just my brain. It's called the engineering brain.
Yeah.
So you've already kind of described this, but if you want to elaborate, just what impacts you see so far, if there's stories of people or groups that you've already impacted, and then how does the world around you see you live these things in every day in every way? I kind of know the answer, but I want to hear it from you. And then, you've already addressed it a little bit, but just if you could elaborate. Excuse me.
Are you asking how people around the world see me?
So kind of focus on your purpose. I see you as a person who lives your purpose every day in every way. So by doing that, how do people see that? Like, I know it because I've been on XXO Connect. I've talked to you before, but how do you think, like, if you have an example of a one-on-one person that came to XXO Connect, or your friends or your family, however you want to share, how you impact the world. So when I say see, I mean the full see, the full connect, your impact.
I will share with you, and I won't. I have these deep conversations every day with people. I do one-on-ones multiple times a day. Right now, the majority of my day is having some very deep one-on-one conversations. I'll back up to, I was doing those with a podcast, with the XXO podcast, where people allowed us to record, obviously, and put these out. But these podcasts are extremely vulnerable. And we had some very deep conversations where things that my guests have never shared before, talking about suicide attempts, mental health, and many other sexual abuse, and so many different types of subjects, where they were able to get past something inside our podcast. And I realized that these deep one-on-one conversations, when you provide that safe space without judgment, without distraction, vulnerability happens and deep connection. And so I continue those conversations, a lot of them unrecorded also. And really that's what we're doing at scale, is creating that environment. But I have people every day tell me, they'll come back to me and say that the impact that I made on their lives, of something that they were going through, something that they were thinking about doing, and they didn't because of they listened to one of my episodes, or they were in one of my episodes, or because of a conversation, they removed the block. They couldn't get past something in their lives. So those are my days every day. And now we're creating that environment inside our platform for other people to have those types of conversations as well now.
How long, I should know this. Hi, people, the unprepared host. How long has XXO Connect been happening?
So XXO started April of 2019, the concept, and actually the corporation, the business started then, but we didn't launch until January of last year, which was not what you know it is now. So we launched as a weekly XXO podcast last January, and then an offline matchmaking service. And then a month later, COVID struck, where people couldn't meet in person, which kind of shifted what I was trying to do with offline matchmaking, but would ultimately led us to where we are now.
Yeah. Do you still do any matchmaking, or will that come back after we can actually?
I don't think it's going to come back. I think the people that I've worked with, I'll continue to work with, but what I'm doing is a much greater scale now in terms of connection to self. And so I think the matchmaking was a part of it, is connection to others. But I realized the root of it, connection, was at scale a much bigger global issue. People even who are married struggle with intimacy and vulnerability. And so I was still seeing a lot of people who were struggling even at that level. And so I wanted to do something much greater to bring connection to themselves first.
Yeah, I mean, as an ex-therapist, I used to see that all the time where I did some couples therapy as a client and also as a therapist. But as the therapist, it would be amazing to me that it always came down to the individual. It's like, well, I'll use my parents' names because they're not around, and this has nothing to do with my parents. I'm just using their names. Well, Irving, why do you get angry with Carolyn when she does this? And then when you get to it, it's really something in Irving that's not connected, or he's mad at himself, or he feels a lacking. So yeah, by connecting to yourself, that's a big one. Why do you think it's so hard for people to do that? Do we not learn? Is it like a Western hemisphere thing, or do you like Asian and Russian and African? Is it universal, or I don't know? It seems like we have a bigger problem than most.
It's ego and ego, insecurities. It's a lot of things that build up over time throughout somebody's life. And then when you get to that point, you've lost yourself. You're living somebody else's life. You lost a connection to yourself. It's just like building up and building up. I describe it as think of like plaque. If you don't go to the dentist every 6 months or 4 months or whatever it is, and you go years and years and years, and things build up, picture like you're living inside this plaque.
Hmm.
And so you're further away from yourself. And then at some point, it's not easy to dig in and dig through all that plaque to get back to yourself, and then have to keep digging to get to the core. And that's.
Well, I had a vision when you were talking about that. By the way, that's kind of gross, but I get it's a good imagery. I thought of like the Pillsbury Doughboy or the Michelin Man, like the big, all that white stuff is like plaque, keeping you, distancing you from yourself, distancing you from other people. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, the distance.
I didn't realize this would be heavy and deep, but I sort of did. But
if you're talking to me, it's gonna be a deep conversation. We don't.
Well, no, I know.
Yeah.
But it's just, right before this, I was in a master class with Shanae Moret from Growth Academy. And so it was like a totally different direction. And then I was looking forward to this. And if I would have thought about it more, I would have figured. But that's okay. Deep's great. So this, you kind of address this a little bit, but I've had this conversation with many people. And so it seems like, from my limited, it's not a statistical experiment, but I've talked to probably around 100 people. And I would say the consensus is, and that doesn't make it the truth, but a majority of people think that your passions, once you become like 18 or older, what drives you is kind of the same thing, but that your purpose can evolve over your life. And what you said before about some people find their purpose early, some find people late, some people find it in between, some people never find it. So for those that do find it, say early, do you think it evolves over time, or is it pretty like, this is my purpose and I'm just going to drive it?
Passions change over time. Passions can change like the seasons. Purpose, if you're driven truly by purpose, then that does not change. It might shift of how you're trying to get there, but the actual purpose doesn't change. Purpose, you are driven 100% by intuition, by the universe, by your energy. Like that is pulling you with your purpose. And if you can't get there one way, you're going to keep trying to get there a different way. So if my purpose changes and I do something completely different, it was a passion, it wasn't a purpose, because I'm not going to stop to try to get there. Purpose is that you're driven to change humanity, to move, to push the human race forward, to do something. And it could be at all different levels, but you're trying to do something to move something forward in a positive manner. You're disrupting. And so, yeah, that's not going to change. The ways you do it, you might have to, if you can't go, over the wall, you might have to go under or around it. You're going to shift.
Right.
But if the whole purpose just completely changes, it wasn't purpose. It was a passion.
Okay. So something you said kind of triggered something to me. Do you think that everyone who has a purpose it's altruistic, like humanity based, making the world better? Or I don't want to get into good and evil, but so do you think all purposes, because the way you described them, and I hope most of my friends and myself are like that, our purpose is to better the world. But do you think everybody's purpose is connected to bettering the world and connection in some
I
way?
don't think I don't think everybody's purpose is the same. No, no, I don't
Well,
think
no, I
that.
don't think they're the same,
It,
but
it,
do you think they're altruistic, like at the core is to improve the world and humanity and improving connection? I mean, not your purpose, but you
well,
know,
yeah, it's
not
at some level, it's to change things for the better.
okay, good. I
Yeah,
like
and
that.
I mean, it doesn't mean it's to change the world, but it's to move things forward. And there's a million different ways or billions of ways to do that. But that purpose of what you're, if you have a true purpose, it is to make things better than it was yesterday.
Yeah, but don't you think so? Like I mean, I know your purpose is grander and you're accomplishing it, and that's awesome. But don't you think even if, say, I mean, what's an example? Like a coach in a high school or something, a really good coach, he impacts maybe in his lifetime, let's say really close, he works 20 years and he impacts 20 people, 20 kids, like one a year or something. That still impacts the world for the better. It's not as grand as millions, but those people that he connects with go on and create like it starts with a pebble and then becomes a wave and then becomes a tsunami.
It's just what I said. Like that scenario, they made the world, they changed things for the better than it was yesterday by impacting one life at a time. And so that's the same thing. That's as I just described. That's whether it's
Okay,
one person, yeah. A coach is bettering other lives, right? That's what they're
right.
doing. They're
Yeah.
transforming. They're there to transform lives. And so whether it's one person you transform a life, or we're all doing the same thing. They're led by purpose.
I feel like you're Yoda and I'm the Padawan. It's like that's what I just said. I'm like, and I thought about it. Why, Jason? Yes, it is. I apologize for repeating your words.
No, but no, that's exactly, if that person feels that they every day they wake up and that they're driven by that and that is a purpose, they're completely, I think, when you talk about purpose, you're completely aligned. That means you've merged in life. You've let go of anything that, what weighs you down, what serves no value anymore for you. It weighs you down, and once you're able to release all those and completely align with yourself, that is where you find purpose. And then every day you're driven by that. And so the coach, I'm sure if that coach, it feels that every morning, they're driven by that to get to wherever, if it's school or on a field, or they're a transformational coach or whatever the case may be, they are making an impact. They're impacting a life every single day, or lives every single day. And they're pushing the humanity race forward also. The human race forward, I'm sorry. Yeah.
I kind of want to go meditate now. You know what I mean? Though, I mean, this is deep and I mean, it's really good stuff. And I'm just like, wow, do I really have to use words? But I will continue. uh, let's see. Okay, so I just you wanted this to be organic, and I'm just making sure that we cover everything that people expect. But you kind of already addressed this, but it gives you another opportunity to talk about it. So, okay, what are you most passionate about right now in your life, and how does this feed your purpose? And so I mean, it's XXO Connect, right?
Yeah. I'm like, in this moment, what I'm most passionate about right now is this, some of the tech stuff that I'm doing behind the scenes to build. Like, I'm extremely passionate about that. Um, Stuff that for me, it's a huge learning curve for me. But I like, all my days are spent right now with the app that we're putting together for the 24/7. It's the XXO Connect video chat. I'm so passionate about how it looks and feels and works and functions, and so if you ask me right now, that's what I'm so passionate about. And when I'm done with that, I'll be so passionate about how we train our members to be able to use it and how they use it. And so the
Right.
passion will keep changing, but the purpose will stay the same. So if you ask me today, I'm driven by that. And my passion is spending all this time with my son and building out some of our programming and building out some intros and outros and the aesthetics and the design of it. And so I think my passion shifts quite a bit. But
Yeah.
right now, I'm pumped about doing those things. Like, I can't wait. Not that I don't like this, but as soon as I get off, I'm going to jump right back to like putting these things together, because
Thank you for that aside.
that's what I'm doing right now. No. I'm enjoying. I'm in the moment, and I can be extremely present. But I'm excited to then do that, and then I'm passionate about. I'm going to use my fireplace today. I'm going to light that thing up, and so in that moment, I'm passionate. I'm like a kid. I get to start my fireplace. So I think, I mean, for you, what are you passionate about today? What gives you that grit today in life?
Oh, right now it's the show. I love the show.
Yeah.
Because I think one of the best ways to succeed or change, I mean, even though, like you said, you got to know yourself, but for whatever reason, I'm not like a guru or a monk, and I can't just go look in the mirror and go, "Hey, Mark, why did you do that?" But I can reflect, like someone's a mirror, like you're a mirror, and you'll say something. I'm like, "Oh God, I do that too, huh? Maybe I don't want to do that anymore." Or you're so passionate about something. It's like, you know what? I'm passionate about that too. So, I mean, not that I don't know myself, but I think conversations, like you said, connections, knowing yourself and then knowing other people, that's what I'm passionate about. Because I mean, if I didn't have to make money, I could just go talk to people all day. And I mean, I've spent, people think I'm crazy sometimes, so I'll just tell a short story. But I worked at Boeing for a long time. And at one time I worked at Capitol Hill, and I worked third shift. So third shift starts around 10 p.m. And so I'd take the bus. So I take the bus down to Capitol Hill, and then I had to get another bus connecting in the worst neighborhood, probably the worst corner of downtown Seattle. And I'd just sit there and wait for my bus. And I would just talk to all the street people. And I found some of the, and no great shapes for me, just I like talking to people because my mom kind of instilled that into me. And like this one guy, I'm like, holy crap, he was the most interesting person I ever met. He had like a PhD and some weird kind of physics, and he'd been in a fire early in his life, and he was like a mayor of a small town in Colorado. I'm like, holy crap. And if I wouldn't have talked to that guy, I would not have had that experience. And it was like, wow, what am I doing? But I mean,
yeah,
so like,
yeah.
I don't know.
Well, you can say it by what do you enjoy? Like, your passion is what you enjoy.
Right.
So a passion
Music,
can be, yeah. I
music,
mean, if you don't
people, writing.
if you don't enjoy it, then why are you doing it? And so passion to me is things that we actually enjoy. And sometimes they can be difficult, and even like take it your podcast.
That's weird. That's weird. What happened? Did you hit a button or something?
No.
I didn't touch anything. That's weird.
It's funny because I'm just talking about the frustrating part of the technical part of what you're doing, but there could be times where it's frustrating of the technical parts of podcasting, but it's your passion. You love it, and it drives you, and you wouldn't do it if you didn't enjoy it, and you enjoy the conversation. So for you, it's like the best of being selfish and being selfless at the same time, if that makes sense, where it's selfish because you love it so much, and it's selfless because you get to put these conversations out every week with all different humans and introduce them to the world. And so I think that's a passion for yours. And
oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I learned more from these shows than probably other parts of my life and my current state of life. So that was the worst sentence ever. English is my first language. I know it's not obvious. All right. Yeah. Okay. I'm blown away. But let's see, where are we? Oh yeah. So I mean, I know you do this every day, but just kind of any general advice to people. So since we're talking about um, a lot of the connection starts with yourself. So you connect with yourself, and then it's easier to connect to other people because you know yourself. So do you have any? I mean, as long as you want, as many senses you want. Do you have any advice on how do people do that? As in, go to xxoconnect.com and join.
You know what's free to do is wake up in the morning, and it's free to not use a phone in the morning. And so as soon as you wake up, let that be your personal growth time. Spend time with yourself. Do not touch your phone. Meditate, do breath work, do whatever it is. Instead of going through the feeds of all these other platforms, spend that time with yourself. Before you go to bed, repeat what you did when you woke up. Spend that time with yourself for 15, 30 minutes, an hour, whatever it is. And so you're starting off the day. It's mindset. So you're putting yourself in the right energy in the morning. That's going to carry you through the day. And then you're putting yourself in before you go to bed to go to sleep at night to calm everything down, to prepare yourself for when you wake up again in the morning. And that's the cycle. So when you can do that first thing in the morning and last thing at night, everything else falls into place.
Do you, as a person who has a difficult time meditating, because I have a very, I'm not blaming it, but I have ADD. Yeah. So my mind is like, do you have any suggestions on how someone like myself could meditate?
Absolutely. I'm glad you shared that. So for that, the meditation where what you think of in terms of having to sit there, quiet for whatever it is to get to that moment to kind of quiet things down. It doesn't mean to actually shut everything down. It means to quiet all the noise so you can really hear yourself. But the fastest way to get there I would say for you is actually breath work, because for meditation, I could sit there for 20 minutes to try to calm things down. Breath work within like the third deep breath I take, which is probably like 5 seconds, 10 seconds into it, I'm already in that place. It quiets things down like that. So for you, I would actually say look into Wim Hof breath work. It's free again. You go right on his website. You can watch it. Wim, WIMHOF, Wim Hof. That's another free thing to do. But when you can just follow his breath work, that'll quiet things down really fast for you.
You can probably spell it wrong again.
WIMHOF, Wim Hof.
Oh, HOF, not 2 Fs. Okay.
I'm sorry, 2 Fs. I probably 2 Fs.
Oh, so that's right.
Yeah, you'll know right away when you see him. It's
okay. Find him. Cool. So for people with active minds like mine, do the breath work.
Within seconds, it'll calm you down.
All right. I'll let you know. I'm going to try it tonight, and I'll email you. It's like I have nothing to say because I just finished meditating with the women.
It'll quiet things down really fast.
Good.
Those deep breaths, and you'll see how he does it. But within like 3 of those breaths, I mean, it just quiets it down. And when you feel that things are moving fast and things are getting very noisy and everything else, I would say stop for 5 minutes. It's free to take those moments, whatever time in your day that it is, to do that and to quiet things down again, to kind of reset yourself. And that'll make a huge impact on because that was my mind too. Always like just so many things going on, but a lot of it is just noise, and a lot of it is just actually noise from the past. Same thoughts over and over again, the same day from yesterday. Another one adds into that today, plus the ones from yesterday, plus. So when you quiet all that down, you can hear really underneath there the underlying thought of what you're trying to do. And when you quiet all that noise, you can still hear things, but you're actually aligning with yourself and intuition, and that'll lead you in a different direction. Because do you know how much energy it takes? How much energy you were wasting with all those racing thoughts every day? So you're able to actually take all that energy and anxiety. Yep. It helps with anxiety. Absolutely. It quiets things down where we're able to think of it like a house where if you leave all the windows and doors open in the winter, all of your heat's going out, or in the summer, all of your cold air is going out. When you're able to shut down the house and seal it, all that energy is yours. And then you can take that energy and focus it and point it wherever you want. And so you're preserving that energy without our energy. People can suck an energy from us, but also we can suck the own energy from ourselves. So look into that. And let me know. I'd love to share an conversation with you after this.
Do you have a therapist background? I should know that too.
Like just life experience.
Okay.
Well, yeah, I will say, I spent 10 years in mental health and in EMS with very directly. So not in the traditional sense, but also some of those relationships that I went through led me through a deep journey, understanding a lot of concepts of mental health.
Well, the only reason one of the reasons I brought it up is talking about the hypermind and ADD. So I ADD. I think I'm on the spectrum. Some people say I'm on the spectrum. I don't even know what that means, but I think I might be based on some things they told me. And I'm like, ah. But to me, it was just like interesting thought. Don't really care. And then I have ADD too. And so my parents didn't believe in giving drugs to kids. And I don't know if back then it was big anyway. So I never took any drugs. We just figured it out. Dyslexia, I just learned to read differently. My ADD is just like, hey, it's just my mind. But the reason I brought that up and the reason I brought the mental health thing up is when I started at Boeing, it's the first time like I was very independent, and Boeing, I had my own insurance. So I wanted, and that's when there was what they used to call Cadillac insurance. So I had Cadillac insurance. So I could do like mental, go to a therapist and not pay, insurance paid for it. So I'm like, hey, I've had these things. I can go check them out. Maybe I didn't know something about it. Maybe I can learn more. And I got an the drug trials for Cylert, which is a drug for ADD. And so what they do is they give you a dose and you spend the first month figuring out the dose. I finally figured out my dose, and then I'm supposed to keep a journal. So my last thing when I decided I don't want to take this stuff anymore, I basically told the psychiatrist, because they can give drugs, he goes, so how did this stuff make you feel? I go, well, I don't like it. I don't like it at all. He goes, why? I feel really lonely because I feel my brain is just got a single thought. I feel like I could watch paint dry and be entertained. And he goes, what do you mean? I go, well, I'm used to having thousands of voices going on in my head. They're all mine, but thousands of voices going on in my head all at once, and I feel lonely because that is who I am. That's who I've always been. So I'm not saying that's right, but I want to try this meditation thing. But it's just kind of, a part of me has a slight anxiety because it's like, part of me loves the voices in my head. And the other part realizes, hey, it is a distraction and there's probably past in there.
Well, I would say you got to look at it as a gift. So use that as a gift of if you enjoy it and it leads you, what you're doing is you're really just filtering it out. So you don't have to take it away, but so essentially you don't control me, I control you. And that's what I say to my thoughts. And so I have control over it. So I get to choose what I want to listen to. But there's also something great about what you described, because a lot of, I'm sure, amazing ideas and come out of that. So you're really just taking that and channeling it for when you want it, when you don't. You have an on off. But it's a gift if you have that. Just learn how to connect with it more so you can choose what you want to hear at any given time. But think of it as a gift.
That makes me very excited to meditate then, because that'll teach me how to control it. Because sometimes, like my best ideas always come when I'm in REM, and it'll wake me up. And unless I wake up, what I learn to do in order to sleep at night is, if that happens, then I need to get up and record the idea, type the idea, write it, and then I can go back to sleep and then work on it the next day. Anyway.
Yeah.
So I want to respect your time. It's 2 minutes to the hour, but I kind of always end with this before I get to your shameless self-promotion, because I like to give that. It's like, whatever you want to promote, whatever. But so I would say this, that people's, oh, let me take the caption off for a second, but I'll bring it back on in a sec. So I think everybody has their own superpower. Their one and only unique, authentic you. That's your genius and that's your superpower. So embrace it. Then I will take that off. And it's shameless self-promotion time. Do you want me to bring up the thing I showed you at the beginning of the show with your picture and stuff, or?
No, that's okay. I love that slide that you just showed is embrace you. And I think one of the greatest gifts we're given is a gift to be unique and to be, individuality, I think, is one of the greatest gifts we have. And yet everybody wants to be someone else. And so I think there's something so just incredible about embracing yourself and who you are. And that's everything that I've been talking about and stand for is be you, embrace you. Don't compare yourself to others. And so I think that was a great way to segment into this. I love that.
Cool.
Good to see you, Darlene.
Everybody,
right, where she goes.
Jason Lebowitz, go to xxoconnect.com. I'm excited for the app thing where you can connect to people. That's pretty cool. And then just kind of my own slight plug. So for this show, Inside Leaders Heads, it's every Monday at 3:30 p.m. PST, 6:30 EST on LinkedIn Live, Facebook group, and well, here, I'll just put this up really quick and then I'll come back. So Mondays, 3:30 p.m. PST, 6:30 EST. Saturdays, 12:30 p.m. PST, 3:30 EST on LinkedIn, Facebook, and I have a website, EOC Studios. And don't forget, xxoconnect.com. And then do you have any last words, guys? I'd like to end with my little tag, which you'll see in a second.
My last words are going to be spoken by Darlene. Just be you. Thank you, Darlene.
Oh, did she have that on there? Let me see. Oh, okay.
She has the last word today.
Then you know what? I'm going to end with that because usually, here, I'll show you what I end, but I'll come back to this.
She has a great. You should have her on it. Yeah.
Living your best life creates a better world for everyone. That's how I usually end it. But anyways, I want to thank you very much. This is a great show. Everybody out there, like Darlene says, I was confused. Is it Darlene? Is it Silver Fox? What do you like to be called? But she's awesome. She's always there for me. And then there's also DJ. It's like, hey, you got 3 names? Pick one. No, I'll call you them all. Anyway, Jason, I want to really thank you. People really go to XXO. Here, I'm going to put that up one more time. Go to xxoconnect.com. It's awesome. Jason's awesome. The platform's awesome. And I just want to thank you. Go have fun with your son or lighting the firewood or working on the app or whatever your passion is right after this time. Thank you so very much. Have a great week.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Thank you for everybody watching. Thank you.
All right. See you later.